also sponsors who want to help with the snacks. That'd be a great way for you guys to promote your personal brand and your business.
Right on. Thank you, Jason, for that announcement. My name is Dexter Harris. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. I'm a syndicator. I invest in San Antonio and Houston, anywhere from 24 up to 100 plus units. I missed last meetup, which I hate. I was down in Dallas networking, but I see it was a nice crowd here. And we have our guest speaker, Sanjeev, here. Jason, would you like to introduce yourself to the crowd?
Yes, so my name is Jason Bhatia. I started off as a CPA back in 2015. From there, I caught the real estate bug back in 2018. Started off single family back in 2019. I was doing a lot of bird, buy and hold. I made a lot of mistakes in my real estate journey, learned a lot, and then from there I transitioned to multifamily, and now we're closing on a 106 unit deal. So super exciting stuff, you guys. We're gonna introduce our guest speaker, Sanjeev.
All right, Sanjeev, you got it, brother.
You got it.
Right on.
We're on Zoom or recording now.
All right. You need anything to we did the triggers right here. No problem. Thank you.
First of all, thank you everybody for spending the evening with us. And thank you, Dexter, Jason, for having me.
Thank you.
All right, so I will go over a few slides with you guys, but it's not a lecture. So don't just ask all the questions, and I will just go over my journey. My name is Sanjeev. I'm the president of LME Investments, where I may only invest exclusively in Los Angeles market. Go over the details as well. Also, we buy value add properties in Los Angeles, where we do everything in-house. Different, like, I mean, we're one-stop shop. Basically, we are not a capital raiser. I have a partner, Shiva over here from my team. And also we run a local meetup as well in Redondo Beach. No sales pitch, just meet with the like-minded investors, exchange notes, and this is where the fun game is. You just learn from each other. We all have something to offer. All right, so how's this clicker work? Okay. All right, a little bit about my background. I own 15 properties, which is multifamily in LA. I did invested in agricultural land, commercial complex, development, land.
Sorry about that.
Too fast.
Admitting people into the thing. They got it.
A few screens up there. Right?
Yeah. So
10 people online.
I'm a burned out investor. So burned out investor mean that if somebody tell you they never lost money in a real estate, do not think that investor is a smart. Only thing that investor did not do enough deals. You will lose money in real estate. If somebody telling you I never lost money in a real estate, you should not walk, you should run from that person. From experience, you will lose money because this is right now, whoever invested last year in a commercial when the interest rate was 3%, took a bridge loan, you ask that operator how they feel right now. They are in a deep, deep trouble. Of course, they're not saying that openly and everything. You don't want an investor to freak out, but there are a lot of operators are in trouble. Nobody thought the interest rate, everybody knew that we know going to be staying on a 3%. the interest rate will go high, like maybe 1 or 2 points every year, but maybe 1.5 point. Not like 10 interest rate hike in a 12 months. That didn't even in the 1980s. Even at that time, the interest rate did not go high that quick in a short period of time. So a lot of people they're upside down. And so after all that, now I only do multifamily and in a one part of Los Angeles. So that's like, kind of a niche. Wherever you guys are in, whatever the market, just have a niche. Just, this is what you cannot be investing in all. Sometimes I hear from others, oh, I invest in these 5 different markets. Maybe these people are so smart, they can understand each market. For me, it's just, you take me out of LA, and even if I have to go to San Bernardino, I think I have to learn that market as well.
Yeah, right.
You cannot be just like, it's a different tenant-based, different rules, different everything, because we live in California, but other state has a different, there is a property tax, there's insurance and all those other stuff as well. And I build my portfolio with the all self-made. If I can do that, you guys can do that as well. Not to be brag, it's just, if I can inspire someone, like, exactly like you guys, regular, they're not born with a silver spoon, built from the ground up by buying duplex and triplex. So when they said LA market is for the deep pocket guys, true, barrier of entry is high, but if you have the patience and you buy the right deals, you can be successful in any part of the country. You can be in a Michigan, in a dead town. Sorry if anybody from Michigan. And you can make money because that's your niche. You know your neighborhood, you know what you are paying, you know how to manage the tenants, you know the rules and regulations for that. And also, I closed 30 plus transaction, A to Z, like finding the deal to analyzing the deal to due diligence, and basically BRRRR. Everybody knows about BRRRR?
Yeah.
I'm sure. And I heard about the BRRRR word when I owned 6 properties in LA. Then I can say, oh, there is a thing called bigger pocket and there is a BRRRR. And then I said, that's exactly what I'm doing. But I did not know that that was a BRRRR. So it's a cool name. Basically, you buy, you increase the value, you just refinance, you take your capital and everything. And I already mentioned, like, I'm a burned out investor from agriculture and development. You can tell me that, okay, Sanjeev, here is going to be the, they're going to make another Los Angeles in a Palmdale, which they tried 40 years back. So we all know there's no LA in Palmdale. So, if you can, this is my take. This is what I invest. I do the boring stuff. Boring stuff is basically we buy value add and we do a property management in-house, which is a thankless job. Nobody wants to deal with the tenants. But you do that one, but it's a stable, and we are not worried about, we are not just thinking what will happen to the, okay, there's going to be a new town going to be over here, or there are going to be all those people who are investing, or it's going to be new. First of all, we are in Los Angeles, which is a supply constrained market. So when you're investing in some other places where another developer can come and can build another 400, 500 units, we do not have a space over here. Like if we have a Jaime over here, the developer, he can just tell him, if there is any vacant land, you have to, they're going to be all these developers want to build over there. So not in Los Angeles. Next slide, please. All right. Again, I learned everything at my own expense. I built the $15 million worth of portfolio. Again, not to brag, just to be with the no outside capital. All these was BRRRR. Buying one property at a time, and then increasing the value, do the refinance, take the money, then buy again, use hard money, use whatever the money I can put my hands on, because the deals are good. The deals are good. When the deals are good, getting any kind of depth is not, even expensive depth is not expensive, because you know that you're buying a good deal on that one. And then, you can learn everything, but you cannot Google experience.
Right.
For that one.
All right.
All right, next slide, please.
Oh, you should be able.
Should be okay. All right. Okay. Few more. In Los Angeles, these are the deals. I built some of the deals. I made a $1 million equity with a $26,000 down. They made another deal with the 2 properties in LA. I put 100K down, 150K down. I did a refinance for 280K, $2,500 cash flow. A couple of other ones, like it's funny when people ask how many doors. How many doors are depends on where your doors are. 100 doors, 200 doors mean nothing. Where your doors are. I have a door in a South Los Angeles, 3 doors, giving me $4,000, $4,500 cash flow. Right? Why I need to buy 40 doors and gonna look good? Oh, I have a 40 doors or I have a 50 doors and everything means nothing unless you want to do for social media to just look good and everything. But in the reality, what is your cash flow at the end of the day? We met a guy who had 10 doors in a Palm Spring. He ended up selling over there by 3 or 4 doors in a Redlands or Riverside, wherever he lives. He said he make more money, but 10 doors sounds good. Economy of scale and all those kind of stuff, which is sometimes I think is all about cash flow. Where is your cash flow is? And at the same time, you are not dealing with the 20 tenants. You're dealing with the 4 tenants. Yeah, I know it's tough in Los Angeles, but 20 tenants are also 20 kind of problems as well for that. So all my rental properties are right now are solid 8 and 9 cap. I did not buy on 8 and 9 cap. I bought on those regular 4 cap, 5 cap, whatever that market. But you can take it to the 8 or 9 cap. And I'm not any unique. There are hundreds of investors in Los Angeles who are on the same one. They're sitting on a 12 caps, 10 cap kind of properties because they bought maybe 20 years back. 20 years back, like they paid maybe 10 units, paid $400,000. Right now is a property worth is like, I don't know, $3 million, $4 million. And they're collecting $20,000 rent. So you go figure out what kind of cash they are, like, their cash flow with that. But again, the secret is that buy cash flow property based on when they say cash flow based on the Los Angeles market. Has the instant value add. And appreciation is a bonus, but appreciation can disappear in a thin air. Depends on the market. I'm sure the last year, including my own portfolio, I can say it was at 20%. Right now, if I exit, it's going to be minimum 20% down. Based on because the interest rates are high. Investors, they have to take a expensive debt. So they will not pay. Last year, they will be willing to pay 20% more. And you should be able to hold 5 to 7 years. Doesn't matter which, like especially in the Los Angeles market. All right. Next.
I'm gonna invite somebody in or admit that somebody in the room.
So also I will talk about, again, ask any question you have. This is the recent deal I want to talk about is a 44 units closed in a 1 year. I did up to 12, 15, 12 properties, 10, 12 without any partnership or anything. And after that, now was, okay, I have something to offer. Let's bring the passive investors. So we started doing the passive investor deal, and then we did a few syndications. But in Los Angeles market, as I said, it is not a cash, there's no cash flow. Sometimes you have to put like a 40% down in order to meet just the debt. Right now, maybe it's 60% down. You put a 60% down to just cover the debt. Forget about cash flow. And if you have any kind of other problems, you have to have it as a good reserve. But these are the properties, real properties for 44 units. It was a 6 building in a 1 year. So the price I paid, 729 square feet per unit, which was sometimes again number of doors. You can be having a studios. I own in the market in South London. Some of my units are 5-bedroom units. 5-bedroom units, like which is not common. Normally you have 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom. But 729 is a decent size based on LA. And 187,000 per unit. 257 per square feet. It was a 21 bedroom, 82 bedroom, 6 3-bedroom. It was the highest cap rate and the lowest GRM deal in LA when I bought it. 5.25 cap. Right now you can find 5.25 cap in LA right now. But right now the interest rate is 6%. But I closed these properties on an average 3.30 interest rate. And these were last year in April, for that one. And there is a 4,200% rental upside and is a super conservative underwriting. And I have a 5 years IO. So on these ones.
And that's fixed, right?
5-year fixed. I have a 5-year fixed, 3 years IO. Okay. So I'm good till 2026 or whatever. So now is a forced appreciation. So even in the portfolio, we turned 11 units to the market rent in the middle of eviction for that one.
How did you do that?
There is a few things. Another thing is you have to concentrate in one area. The more property you own in one area, you can do a musical chairs. Musical chair is that you can move the one tenant from one building to another building. For that. It's a win-win situation because they want to live in the same area. And sometimes you can you don't have to pay like a big amount for the compensation. Sometimes you have a Section 8 tenants who are paying very less. You can move into the nice updated unit. Their portion does not go up. My rent goes double. They are happy because the previous landlord is not even fixing the basic items because he's saying, for one bedroom, you're only paying $900. I don't need to go the carpet is 10 years old or 15 years old, who knows? Old tile, those, everything, there was not even tile or anything. The bathroom, kitchen, everything was bad. So now I took that tenant, I say, I'm gonna move you to the new nice unit. And your portion not gonna go. I'm paying for the moving and everything. And he's happy. He just see me and thanking me for just giving the nice unit, which is, he knows that the previous tenant was not even fixing anything. A previous landlord was not even fixing the basic items. And it's a win-win for me as well. And it is the same neighborhood for that. Most of the people, they want to live in the same neighborhood as well because they are comfortable or their families are over there and all this other stuff. And the rent increase from those 11 units were $9,800. And the property value increased based on 5.5 cap, $2.4 million. So this is the power of Los Angeles as well. Power of when you're investing in a low cap market. Because people say, all the properties are trading on a 3 cap, 3.5 cap. How you can make money? You have to put 60% down. But what about when you increase the value? Little value you increase, your NOI basically in a commercial, your property value goes way high. Somebody's come and willing to pay for that high NOI. And the same thing is, if the properties are in somewhere in the other market where right now the cap rates are maybe in a 7 or 8, you did not increase that much value, even if you increase the value, NOI for that. This is the power of commercial real estate. And it is, whatever I say, do not take it as okay, this is like a lucky guy, or this is like easy. Nothing is easy. It is not easy. If somebody tell you real estate is easy, or real estate is a quick rich thing, believe me, that person either want to sell you some kind of boot camp, or they have some kind of academy or something like it on the back end. Sorry if somebody's selling that one, good for you, but that's the reality. This is like any kind of business, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of challenges, a lot of you have to just risks as well. You're dealing with, have to come up with a big down payments, very minimum cash flow. But as long as you know what you're doing, you have the value. Anything you own in these California all day long, we can sit over there, we can complain about. I want to use that other word, but I think we are on a camera. But at the end of the day, people are willing to pay. We all know we live in Los Angeles. We all know we can just move out to the state. There is nobody stopping us to go to the other state. Nobody's stopping us, and we can just buy 3 times bigger house on 1/3, half of the price. But why we are living over here? Who's stopping us? Maybe job, maybe something else, maybe the weather. Same thing for the tenants. And when you're in California is a tenant-friendly state. If you are a landlord, you are some kind of a bad person over here. If you are an employer, you are some kind of a bad person, like a bad kind of like stuff, in which is what they do favors employees, what they do favors tenants. If they do the favor the tenants, where the tenants want to live, the weather and the they have all the rules for them. So if you think that way, yes.
Can you go back to how did you increase the rent in a rent freeze by $9,800 a month? I didn't quite catch that.
It's a with the moving the tenants.
So when you move them into another facility, are they paying more?
Yes.
Okay, and then that enables you in the building from which they are moving to be able to upgrade that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's put it. I have it right now as we speak. Before I came over here, I have a unit of a 2-bedroom. I can go even higher rent for all the kind of. By the way, in Los Angeles, even in a LA market in the South LA, that's where majority of my properties are. 2-bedroom, the Section 8 is paying $26.66 for 2-bedroom. You can give them a basic, and then they will still pay you for that much, which is crazy. You know how much rents are. For 1-bedroom is a $2,096. But I have another tenant from another building. She's just not happy over there, and she's gonna move over here. And I'm gonna get a market rent on this one, and then we're gonna go update the other unit over there. We do not do any kind of there's no what's called. We do not kick the tenants out. We wait for the organic turnover, or we do find a win-win situation. Here's another example. We picked up a property, 1-bedroom. When we just walk into the unit, the tenant has 3 kids sitting on those iPads when there's a homeschooling, right? On each corner, 1-bedroom, small kitchen, wife is working, husband is over there. I know the guy is a handyman. We all know handymans make good money. They make good money. But maybe the guy doesn't have a deposit. Guy maybe didn't have the good credit and everything. Had the guy said, he's basically looking for more space and everything. I moved that tenant to the 2-bedroom. He's paying a $2,000 rent, and he's super happy. And I also help him with the moving. Give him a few months of free rent as well. He's super happy. And these are the real ones. Win-win situation for him, win-win for me. The person otherwise, he wants to move to the 2-bedroom. He doesn't have a deposit, doesn't have the money, or all those other reasons. And we have another, where I have a tenant who was just good money. Sometimes the rent control actually is not in a favor for the tenants. It's kind of a trap for the some of the like anything else. Section 8, some kind of other kind of benefits is a trap where even the person can do more, they're not doing more. The person is living on that property for God knows for 20 years. I know he's driving almost $80,000-$90,000 worth of car, has a good money and everything, South LA and everything.
Right.
And I just always say, you should be in a house. Your car should be in a garage, not in this open parking lot. Okay, Sanjeev, help me. We made a deal with him and everything. He ended up buying a duplex for that. So now he's super happy because he was in a trap. Where are you going to find $800 1-bedroom? Wherever he just look over there, it's around 2,000 or say, you know what? Oh, no, I'm just going to keep living over here. So these are the things these are not, things does not happen in a 1 year or 2 year. It takes time. As long as you have the patience, at the end it's all worth it. Tim, your question?
I just was clarifying that the enticement for them to move and pay more is you made it a nice place, right? So they're living in a more outdated, and obviously for them to pay more, they're getting a nice.
Absolutely.
So the value add is the key.
Yeah, value add. And then moreover, just life happened to the people. They do move. Well, like, I mean, I know in Los Angeles, some of the long-term investors, they just buy the property and in their mind is that I'm going to hold this property for 15 years, 20 years, or longer than that, right? They're not even worried about anything. If the tenants are paying the market rent is at 2,500, tenants paying 1,000, they're not sweating. They just sit over there. Life happened to people. Not 100% going to be rental turnovers, but maybe 50%. Even with the 50%, their value going to be way high. And now we're going to think, oh my God, these guys are, look, this property is worth way too much, but there's a patience game. All right, next one. Okay, popular. 4 key metrics, like when we bought these property, these are the last year number. If somebody bring me the deal today on these numbers, I love to take the interest rate, but other than that, the cap rate and GRM, at this point, these are not attractive. Last year, these were attractive numbers. When we picked up these deals last year, at that time, properties were trading on close to 4 cap. So we bought like almost a 5.25 cap and 11.45 GRM. Basically, if you see 11.45 GRM, it means, I don't know if you are familiar with the GRM.
Gross rent multiplier.
Gross rent multiplier is basically little bit, GRM is a better metrics than the cap rate, in my opinion, because in a cap rate can be when you see the broker offering memorandum, it's just like, they will tell you like, sometimes they don't even put any property management expenses into that one. Expenses going to be always going to be lower than what you're going to have the expenses. And their rent's going to be always going to higher than what you're going to get. So it doesn't matter which brokerage firm you're going to deal with that. At the end of the day, they are salespeople. They have to make the package nice. As a investor, as a buyer, it's your responsibility. Just take their numbers and then do your own homework for that one.
What type of info do you need to calculate the GRM?
GRM is a rent.
Rent.
In other words, total rent for the yearly, how many years it will take if you have no debt, no expense, which is not possible, but is it just one of the metrics to just calculate how many years will take for you to get your money back in a total rent? So in this case was 11.45. At that time, all those properties were trading for 14 to 15 GRM when we picked up on 11.45. So right now, if somebody bring me the deal for 11.45 GRM, I said, no, that's too expensive. Oh, but Sanjeev, like you were buying that kind of deal, but at that time the debt was 2.3. Yeah, if you want to pay, bring me the deal on 3% interest rate, I will take it. But if I now have to pay 5.75 interest rate or close to 6%,
I see.
no, then now the price need to come down for that one. Back of the napkin math is that property value has to drop down 35% in order to numbers to make sense. I know some of the brokers say, oh, you do not marry to the interest rate, you marry to the building and all those are basically, yes, good. Somebody has a patience money, go buy it. The deal is good. But at the same time, you don't want to put like, sometimes some of the deals are like all cash, because if you have to come with a 70 or 80% down, why even bother to go to the bank? Why don't you just pay 100%, right, for those ones? And some of those deals are in LA, they do trade on still are trading on under 3 caps when the interest rate are 6%.
Question, do you have a min-max of the GRM?
Sorry.
Do you have a minimum or maximum for the GRM when you're looking at a deal?
Deal right now, some of the numbers in my head is that if I tell the broker, they start laughing, which is fine. I said, this is the GRM, I'm looking for that. And on top of that, I'm also looking for a rental upside. What does that mean? Somebody bring the deal, I say, okay, Sanjeev, what kind of rent you're looking? I brought you this deal. But if there is no rental upside, I don't know if you are following me.
Can you kind of elaborate on that? What is that?
So let's start somebody, where you live?
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Okay, somebody bring you deal in a Long Beach, telling that here's a deal for 10 GRM, which is good deal. Good deal. 10 GRM is a good deal in Long Beach, like, for that. But there is no rental upside. Rental upside is mean that rents are already up to the market. They're already collecting them close to the market rent. So now you bought the deal is good, but there's no rental upside for that. So is that, maybe that deal is now, there has to be a rental upside, which is the value add. So if you paid that property, for example, I'm just throwing the number out, for 10 GRM, you paid $3 million for one property. But if there is no value add on that one, you cannot increase the value on the property. In a commercial, everything is your net operating income. When you are a 1 to 4 unit, it goes by the comps. I'm sure all of you are aware. If you're not, when is a commercial, is everything is NOI, it's a business, basically. What is the income is this business is producing? Based on that one, the lender will give you the money. When you are a 1 to 4 unit, it's all about what is like what's the market is doing, what are the comps are for those ones. So I cannot just say that, okay, this is the only GRM. I'm also looking for, there are multiple things you have to like look for that. When you're buying, you have to just look for the area you're buying. You're looking for the building. What kind of like is the building that, if the cap rate is there, what I'm looking for, GRM is there, but maybe I don't want to invest in that neighborhood. Maybe that property is in a very rough neighborhood and the worst street on that neighborhood. Or maybe the property is 1930s, 20s, and everything is falling apart. Then I know I bought this property, but I have to spend the money on this property, a lot of money on that one, because these rents not going to be there. Maybe somebody is paying because maybe that person has, the seller have all those tenants where they cannot find any other place to rent. And these maybe tenants are not a good tenants. There's a lot of things behind the scene, but those are the things you just learn as you are like, have experience in one area. But these are the basic, like, now when I get the offering memorandum, I see those 20 pages and everything, and my eyes are searching for the numbers. I don't want to read like, how good is the Long Beach is, how good is this, where this, like, if this jobs are coming over there, this and that. I know, I live in LA, I know there is a port, there is 1,000 jobs over there, this and that. Tell me what is the rent roll, what is the bedroom size, what is the square feet, all those numbers. And then I can look sometime in 5 minutes before even go further. If those numbers are matched, then I start digging. Then you start digging, then you start thinking, if the numbers are really good, then you start looking over there. What's the catch? Like, where's like why this is good? There's something am I missing? Then you find out, is tenants performing? What are the major ticket items and all those other stuff?
Like, what are the major ticket items? What are you looking at on?
So any property, like, let's put it, your numbers are good. It meets your criteria, right? Again, getting back to the cap rate and GRM, especially when you are in the market like Los Angeles, each person has a different appetite. When I say appetite, is mean like different kind of a business plan. There are some people who will buy in Los Angeles on a negative cash flow. Negative cash flow. They just buy for a different reason. Maybe they just want to take a tax benefit. The guy is like, has maybe $10 million, $20 million coming from some different business, and they are running a company or something. They just want to buy a property where they can just write tax write-off. They know that in 20 years, that property value is going to be much higher for them. This different kind of investor. They have an income coming from different sources as well. So they're not worried about like the next 20, 30 years. So if I'm not doing it full time, I can never compete with that person. That does not mean that that investor does not know what that person is doing. You know exactly what that person is doing. That. So all kind of investors. So beauty about when you're investing in a New York and Los Angeles kind of market, we laugh why these guys are buying on a 2 cap. We don't know what's a reason behind that for those kind of stuff. So, and also different game plan, different, some are very comfortable in buying in a nicer area. So for them is that, okay, you know what, I'm not worried about, I'm gonna just give it to my kids. They just buy out a very low cap and then they're thinking that, okay, in 20 years, I'm gonna just give it to my kids. They just leave it like that one. And sometimes they don't even, you'd be surprised in Los Angeles. As much as we say rents are high, there are so many properties. Some of the tenants are paying way low rent because they bought the property 30 years back and the properties are paid off. We are protected by Prop 13. Our property tax does not go much higher. It's not like it taxes or any other state every year. It's 3% and everything. So, oh, my tenants never complained. I say, of course they're not going to complain. Market rent is $3,000 and you're charging $700. Why would they just complain?
I never even do their own maintenance and everything. Yeah.
If I'm renting over there, I will never call the like a landlord. I will just like, I know a guy who just rent in the valley house paying $610 rent from the last 30 years. His kids bought the houses, everybody bought the houses, but he's still living over there in the same, and his owner lives in El Segundo. From the last 30 years, he said on the first, he just drive to El Segundo and drop the check in the mailbox. Yeah, there are multiples like that. Other ticket items, maybe you were asking for after you meet all those numbers, like it's something about the property. You're looking for like, is the tenants are performing? Is there any other code violation or anything other happening? Simple is like a ticket items, how's the properties are, what kind of capex or the money you need, is the roof is in good condition, foundation is in good condition, electric is are they updated or not updated? Because sometimes if your electrical panels are not updated, you're gonna have a trouble getting the insurance, especially like with all these fires and everything. Some insurance company, they want you to update all these electrical panels. These are the things you just learn with experience. That's why I say you cannot Google experience. No Google, you can go on a boot camp and everything. Guy can sit over there, stage, tell you everything. The guy never bought a property in LA. They will never tell you that, for that one. It's a funny thing, like people come tell me, I go to sometimes the meetups and everything. I'm a regular one of you, right? Just like who just happened to be, can say ignorance is a bliss. Like I started in LA and I goes over there, I invest in LA. They gave me the look like maybe I have 3 heads. I said, oh, LA is a bad market. I said, okay, LA is bad market. How many property you own in LA? 0. I said, what made you, you don't even have the credential to talk about LA is a good or bad market. Yeah, you heard about it. It's not an easy market. It is a tough market. But just like, just being like, blank, just saying that, okay, but these are the certain stuff you just learn by investing, by just starting. You can start in your backyard with a small property.
So are those numbers up there referring to a specific deal that you did, or?
These are the 44 units.
Okay.
Which is like a recent, which is closed last year in April. And those are the numbers, these are the real numbers from that deal. But right now, even on, that's what I was explaining. If somebody bring me the deal on those numbers, right now I will not pay what I paid last.
Because the market's different.
Market is different.
Yeah.
Interest, like right now, basically debt is expensive. So debt is expensive. Yeah, even if there is a value add, but I don't want to put 55, 60%.
Right.
Which is like other people's do that.
Right. So just out of curiosity, how would those numbers change with that same deal today? What would happen to the cap rate and the GRM?
My back of the napkin, I will need like at least 30% less. 30% less, minimum.
Really?
Minimum. Which is, in reality, is only 10%, 10 to, you can get 10 to 15%. They say that, okay, you can just refinance again. And we don't know. I don't think so. The interest rate is going to go back to that low anytime soon. Right? It might just come back to normal, like between close to 4.5%, 5%, maybe in the next. Again, nobody has a crystal ball. If somebody's saying, then that should person know something.
Please share that information.
Yeah, so simple back of the napkin math. It's nothing like, be for the, and again, it depends on like, if the deal is in a much better area, the deal is in a Culver City, of course, I want to pay a little bit more because of the location.
Sure.
Because in a certain area, certain like, area has it like, if the deal is in a LA city versus LA County in an unincorporated versus a different city, all has a different rules for that one.
Hmm.
And it changed based on that one. Here, you know that, okay, these are the rules are different, so I can just pay a little bit more. Because even if in some LA County, 8% rent increase, it's not bad. Not bad, 8%. If you're already, like, if your rent is even 2 bedrooms is a $1,500, market rent is at $2,300. I'm just throwing the number out. You're increasing 8% every year. Very soon you're going to be close to the like, and then some tenants, they're going to have organic turnover. Maybe they cannot afford even 8% bump on those one. In a certain city, you can only do 3%. In some city, you cannot do that. It depends on the location as well. Okay, I'm sure you want to know how we find these deals, right?
Yes.
The back of this, yes, Sanjeev, I heard that all those kind of stuff over there, but how you find it? Just deals. I just open my eyes in the morning, and the deals just.
He's
You know,
manifesting.
I just manifest, and then I have a little stone in my pocket. I just touch it. Jokes apart, it is a real work behind the scene, and so it's like also I'm investing in one area where I don't need to go convince the broker. This is what I want to pay. Simple is that, like, for example, you are the broker, you know that, okay, I'm selling on this numbers in this area. Everybody else is paying. Hey, Sanjeev, this is a good deal. I said, I paid for this same kind of property this much last year, or this is what I'm paying. I want to pay same to what I'm paying for that. Now I don't have to convince. I don't want to be just considered like, okay, I want to pay less, whatever that. Now they can see that I bought the property in the same zip code, on the same neighborhood, at the same price. So your own properties become your own comps. And this is a recent example. Somebody shared the deal with a KW, and in his package, he was using one of my comp. And there was another property which I paid maybe at least 20% less. He did not use that comp, but the comp he used, but mine was all 2 bedrooms, and one was like a 3-bedroom, and his one was 1 bedroom, for that. So when I just explained to him, and surprisingly, he called me, he said, oh, Sanjeev, would you interested in writing an offer, even on the lower price? I said, look, I'm not, unless your sellers really want to take that offer, then we can write. Otherwise, there's no reason for me to just write that offer, because I'm not willing to pay any more. So you just don't make me write the offer, then I'm going to have a counter close to what you are asking for that. So your own properties become our own comps. Of course, broker relationship, as much as the brokers are, sometimes they just want to get the maximum price for their client. Because at the end of the day, brokers make money when the thing's closed. And they rather work with the person who are active in the one area. And they know that that broker going to close, that buyer going to close. That make a huge difference. Because if somebody willing to pay 5-10% more, but the person maybe never bought the property in that neighborhood. As a broker, if I'm the broker, if I know that she is active in that area, and let's say just first time buying, maybe you could just have a cold feed after 15 days due diligence. Chip is paying like 5% less, but he's experienced and he knows, or 10% less, and he knows everything, and I will go with Chip. As much as, and then sometimes the brokers even tell the seller the same thing. Hey, I have this buyer who's experienced in the area. That happens like, in any market. And hyper local, 20 years on the ground experience. We're also closing the deal. In-house property management. In-house property management is a good thing. Is I know what kind of rent I can get, what kind of expenses I'm going to have. a very much rough idea. Because you buying the old property, they're going to be like, they're not going to tell the roof what kind of expenses are going to be on the roof, electrical panel. As I said, that even on a small property, you updating the electrical panel, that can cost you $40,000, $50,000. Your roof going to cost you, like even on a small property, $30,000. And if you are not calculating those numbers in an in-house property management, which is a thankless job, dealing with the tenants, toilets, trash all day long.
How big of a team is required for your property management to manage all of those?
With the 3 or 4.
When you say in-house, are you talking about something that you have, or are these people that actually live on site that manage the property?
No, it's
Your team?
yeah,
Okay.
we manage. But in California, if you have a 16 plus unit, then you have to have a manager on site. It can be just manager.
Oh,
It can be just a manager on the name, just you give some rent discount. Depends on what kind of compensation you're giving and what kind of work you're taking to that manager.
Sanjeev, just moving forward, let's save all of the questions until the end of the presentation.
Sorry, all the questions.
Suggesting you take questions at the end of your presentation.
All right, okay, yeah. No, just, I don't want to sound like a kind of giving the lectures and then half of you guys go to sleep. So I say, want to be engaging if some question they have, but however, it's just like if they want to take at the, want me to take at the end, I will. Also solve the seller problems. Seller's problem when we say that, okay, sometimes some seller, like I reach out to the ones property, we already own the property just across the street. I talked to the guy. He thought I'm a wholesaler. And I was like, he's landlord, I'm landlord. Tons of things are in common. We can talk about tenant issue all day long, And I said, you're interested in selling? I said, no, that's for my kids. But stuff happened. He sold the property, it was a health reasons. I find it after the closing, and I was flexible with the closing for that one. And also, if the deal is good, today, some of the numbers I got because of the deal was no contingencies on that one because we know the deal is solid. For that. And also, like in no retrade unless something major comes up, and also 100% personal capital up front and risk. A partner with we bring only the partner after we close the deal. It's kind of like closing the deal, then we bring the partner. At the end, we drink our own Kool-Aid, 100% skin in the game because right now there are, it's like, anybody who made money in the last 6-7 years, is the market was helping a lot. Market was keep going up. Right now, things are different. Right now, it's like you need a real underwriting. I was simply looking at the deals. I said, there's no real underwriting behind the scene. There was no stress test. Stress test, you look over there, if the deal goes south, am I going to be able to keep this property? Am I going to be able to pay the debt? Am I be able to just pay some of my investors? There was nothing like that because you buy the property, the appreciation was it was a 2006 and 7 was a repeat. And everybody was saying that, oh, this time the banks they are doing all kind of what's their due diligence. So there's going to be no recession. Whenever the recession is going to happen and the market is going to go down, it will always going to go down for the things which we did not think. Nobody thought the interest rate going to be, we all know the interest rate was low and everything. Right now, inflation and whatever the other stuff is going on. Banks are still, they did not, they did give the debt to the qualified buyers. This time they did not give, in 2006 and 7, the only qualification you have, as long as you're breathing, you can get the debt for that one. That was the last time, 2008-9. This time is the inflation. Everybody was keep paying and they were thinking that 20% rent growth year over year is normal, which is crazy. If you're doubles your money in 2 years in a real estate, That's not consistent. Yeah, you got lucky, keep the money and go by that hickey that only the property is supposed to increase 5 to 10%. Your rent growth should be like 3 to 5%. That's very standard, unless you buy like a value add and all those kind of other stuff. That's but if you keep buying 20%, yeah, like showing all this like a stupid charts on the presentation, everything, because at the end of the day, just like they want to have you just give them money so they can just go buy the stuff and they can make money on those fees and everything. But some of those guys are losing money left and right now. There's in Houston, $70 million investors' money is down the drain. And that guy just doubled the money for a lot of investors in a 1 year. And the investor was thinking, oh my God, I can give this money. This guy has some kind of magic. He doubled the money in 1 year. Yeah, because the market was helping him. Yeah, you can afford those ones. So because the debt was cheap, debt was cheap, banks were giving the money and everything was also happening. But that was not a real underwriting. There was no real underwriting behind those ones. Yeah, if somebody just thought that, okay, yeah, I can get 15% rent increase, but my underwriting going to be only 3 to 5%. If that person has that kind of underwriting, now if they get extra, okay, it's a bonus. Keep it. And now just keep underwriting based on the real numbers for those ones. All right. Okay. So these are like,
Yeah, sorry, it's just the brightness of the monitor.
Yeah, nobody's. Right now, there's no sales pitch or anything. My only goal for today is to just tell there's a gems in your backyard. Doesn't have to be Los Angeles, doesn't have wherever you are, even if you are with whatever the market you are, just you can make money in any market. Just start, be conservative. Be conservative in your numbers. And then once you have that, like you're going to be good. Anything you do, if there is any kind of like interest rate goes more high, there is a recession come, there is a layoffs happening, you bought a property, based on that you can serve the debt and you can hold the property and you cannot go wrong. Real estate is still very safe vehicle to build wealth, but it's a patience game, for that one. And again, what we are working on right now, I think there is still tons of opportunity in our backyard. We did a few syndications. Again, this is not a sales pitch or anything. I do my majority of my deals by myself, but there's tons of opportunity where some of those are going to be in our backyard as well. So I'm working on a fund where we are taking the limited partners on that one. But first thing is just like, I think you guys should start, if you're not already in your, wherever you are, just start with investing, with a conservative underwriting. All right. How you guys can keep in contact. We do a monthly meetup, which is free of charge. We don't charge anything. It's just same networking. And also we do a free newsletter every week. Doing that for years. We don't sell anything. We don't pitch our anything. There's no boot camps, no books, no nothing. For that one. It's just a pure networking. Nothing wrong with that if somebody's doing that, but that's not me. I'm the real operator for that one. You can follow me on the social media. I put a lot of good stuff, crap, like whatever the properties are happening. Just I put it over there, telling them like what I'm dealing with that. All right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little interview session. Thank you.
Middle, all right.
Right on. Let's give Sanjeev another round of applause.
Great presentation.
Great
Thank you.
presentation. Thank you. I wrote my questions in my phone, so I feel I'm going to my.
So first question for you, Sanjeev, is when you first start investing in real estate. You always hear people say, don't invest in Los Angeles, don't invest in New York, don't invest in Chicago because those are tenant friendly markets, and they go, you will get eaten alive by your tenants. But obviously you are very successful here in Los Angeles. So here's my question is, when you first started, how were you mentally strong enough for you not that people discourage you from actually investing here in Los Angeles?
Great question. You know, you can say my ignorance was bliss. I did not know any better. I did not know. I was trying to buy in a Torrance, and Torrance, I was looking in another. I had a Lawndale. That was like a townhouse with my buddy for that. And looking in my backyard, and then I was finding a Inglewood, South LA. That's where I get a more bang of my buck, you know, for that one. Did not know before that, one time I traveled to out of state, and every time we go to the restaurant, I thought man, these clerks over there or the waiters, they don't know how to do the math. I think bill is wrong, man. The bill should be high. I said there must be a mistake because everything is so cheap, right? You can't even just. Sometimes you compare when you go from LA. And I said, it's not a happy hour. Why they just $2 like in nighttime, like a Friday evening. But long story short, real estate wise, ignorance was bliss. So I want to start. I just investing in LA without knowing anything better. And on top of that, numbers wise, okay, can I pay the debt? This deal is better than any other deals I look for that one. And then manage in house over there. And at the same time, also want to share, my daughter is here, Pari. She grew up back of my car every weekend. So we were every weekend, we were just going from property to property. So in a LA area, all those tacos food place we know because of driving over there. And also we did a property management in house is also showing the unit after evening hours, morning hours. So everything was kind of I'm buying the property. I was not even looking for a cash flow. My only goal was that, okay, as long as I can pay the debt. Cash flow was not even in my mind, was that I said, okay, you know what? I'm buying better than anybody else is willing to pay. And I'm going to manage well. The property value is going to be high.
Right.
And those were also the comps property. Those were you started with the 2 to 4 units, those kind of properties. So every year, then I would just buy one property, another property, increase the value, do the refinance. And then if I find a good property, I was just go buy hard money loan, whichever the loan I can get over there, and then buy the property and then refinance into the regular finance.
So when you first started, you did not have millions of dollars to go and buy property here in Los Angeles.
Absolutely not. Here's you lived below your means, and just kind of here's a little bit money coming from W-2. Here's I can have a little bit more savings over there. Here's I can if the property need, let's put $250,000, right? Now I'm just but I'm finding a good property. My offer need to be stand out, so I offer a cash, right?
Yeah.
The money I have can barely meet the down payment for regular financing. So I just goes to the hard money lender or wherever can get my hands on. But I know even if I have to pay 10%, 2 points, it's worth it because property is good. And then buy the property, refinance within a 3-4 months. I never kept any hard money loan. One hard money loan, I kept it for 10 months and I was not sleeping good. Oh my God, it's like some sword is on your neck, like because
Right.
now they're gonna be, I'm sure the person will work with me, but normally like that was my approach for those, like for the financing wise. And when the properties are good and you know that you're buying at the right price, and even on some of those one, even we had a, sometimes when you're refinancing very quick within 12 months, the appraisers are very conservative. And I used to be like in kind of a, get mad at the appraisers, like, man, my property value more and everything. But at the end, like, your properties are good, even the appraisal cannot argue on certain points. If the properties are, let's put it, at that time, I was picking up a 4-plexes for 600,000, right? Now others are like, I picked up like it's for 550, but other ones are selling for 650 or 700, like those numbers. Even the appraisal knows that, okay, I have to give the value to this guy, even if I'm refinancing within a 1 year.
All right, my question is, a lot of investors say they stay away from California or Los Angeles County because of bad, unfavorable tenants and rent control. So my question is, do you invest in areas only in Los Angeles County that have non-rent control?
No, I have properties in rent control. Majority are in rent.
Okay.
Right now, the whole California is under rent control, AB
Okay.
1482, but I am under the RSO, which is LA City and LA County.
Okay.
For that.
You said RSO?
RSO, which is LA City rent stabilized.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. I was gonna ask you what the acronym was for. I don't invest in LA, but thank you for explaining that. RSO.
It's not like, again, you heard all the good stories and everything. Looks like, okay, you know what? Oh, maybe some luck worked for all that good stuff. I will tell you the real story, which I shared in the past. On the second or third property, I put like, I don't know, $250,000 down payment. I'm barely gonna make $1,000 a month on that. And I encounter professional tenant. It goes with my emotions and everything. I let tenant ask for jury trial. And here I have no idea that tenant can ask for jury trial. You have the attorney you paid for eviction, whatever, $1,500, $2,000. Say, Sanjeev, bring $5,000. It's going to be jury trial. For what? Why jury? What? It's a new, was a professional tenant. End up costing with the lost rent, everything, 30,000 plus. So that's a 2.5 year worth of your saving. But one thing is that, which is, I will say credit goes to my wife as well. You stressed out. These are, you're barely starting. That's your maybe year's worth of saving. You just save everything and then you invest over there. Here's nobody cares. Like judge doesn't care, other attorney doesn't care. Right? Hey, I'm screwing this guy. This guy can go bankrupt. Nobody cares, right? And you're dealing with that and end up costing and everything. My wife said, you know what? Yeah, it cost 30,000, but we still own the property. And till today, I own the property. I think that the property has close to $800,000 equity in that. So $30,000 versus 800,000. If you know what, when I say you're going to lose money, try not to lose the money on your first 2 or 3 deals. Because if you lose money on your first deal, your real estate journey going to end.
Right.
As long as you lose the money on 6th or 7th, then you're going to compensate because you made money on a few deals, you lost money, here you have to hold it along, all those kind of stuff over there. But yeah, so there's a, I can tell the stories all.
Right, I bet you do have a lot of money. What is a professional tenant?
Oh.
Professional tenants,
Right.
they know that kind of also they target kind of mom and pop kind of landlords.
Right, right.
Because if I was like a professional property manager and everything, I would never just like go with that one. There was the lady just it's like a newborn kid and everything. You just go through this, you say, oh my God, is it like a mother? And I was not that stupid. I still run the credit. Credit was good.
Right.
But they know that even when they go, I have to see the record in the court as well, because that's the deal I have to make it with them. And I'm sure she must sue the next person as well. Because they goes over there, they know that, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go over there, I'm not gonna pay the rent.
Right.
Then I'm gonna find something. And when I'm gonna file the eviction, I'm gonna ask for a jury trial. When is a jury trial, the landlord, no landlord, like unless, you have a big property, 40, 50, as your property management professionals, they go fight for jury trial because they said, you know what, if I settle with the one, everybody else gonna follow, right?
Right.
For some mom and pop saying that, okay, you know, it hurts to give that kind of money, but sometimes you say, okay, you know what, I want to settle. And they know that you can settle.
So to move on with your life and get this tenant out your property, right? Right on. This professional tenant out your property.
So name of the game is to, because here's evicting the tenant is not easy. It can take anywhere from 4 months to 1 year for that. And you have to be very, very careful when you're screening the tenants. And at the same time, you want to make sure that you do not get in trouble for any fair housing laws and all that kind of stuff. You have to just balance it. You cannot ask. You can just only can say that, hey, this is my criteria.
Right.
Or these are my, these are the requirements.
Right.
As long as you put your requirements, somebody meet over there, you cannot even just ask those questions like a crazy for those stuff in LA. So.
So speaking of the name of the game, how would you describe what is the perfect investment strategy here in Los Angeles? Is it buying a 10-unit building and holding it for let's say 10 years, or is it buying a 100-unit building and selling it in like, let's say 3 years? What is the perfect investing strategy here in Los Angeles?
Patience.
Patience.
Okay. They say, I think the guys who's buying a bigger property, actually they have they are more patient than the regular guys. They don't even buy for three years. Even big pension funds and everything. Yeah. Most of the Los Angeles big apartments are backed, like they're buying by the family office or institutional monies. Before actually, now these institutional guys even buying the property as small as the kind of properties I buy. They even into the single family in LA, like into Blackstone. They just, this time the government already, California, they took action. They told any LLC or any big companies, because in 2008 and 9, Blackstone came and then bought 500 houses in one city, one zip code, was buying like in a Compton, all those neighborhoods, right? This time they want to stop these ones, but these guys are even operating in a properties where small properties are, in 5 to 20 units properties, or even single family or small properties. Right. I think you can exit. If you are planning to exit in Los Angeles under 5 years, it's a risky. You can, but there are, if the market is a little upside down, the unrealistic expectations. So at least 7 to 10 years. Wow. Okay. 7 to 10 years. I can put that. But at the end, you're with the appreciation, it comes out with the same if you have that patience money. If you have the patience money. There is I met with a guy who's a big operator in Los Angeles in the 80s. The rent control is nothing new. California has always been in leader in rent control and all those kind of stuff from the 70s, 80s. 80s, it was the same thing, all these rent controls and everything. He sold all his portfolio in Los Angeles. His friend kept it. He moved to Midwest, another market, bought the properties on 8-9 cap, whatever. And after 15, 20 years, he exit on same 8-9 cap, and his buddy was holding the property, which is 1/10 of the number of doors, and they both end up making the same amount of money. And he said, you know what? I was dealing with the more doors just to look good and everything, but it was the same, and come out to be the same. Actually, his friend made more money over here and staying local and all that kind of stuff. He always tells them, I say, if you don't like your family, just go invest out of state. At least you can get away from the family.
And there are so many like famous celebrities who have invested here in Los Angeles. For example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he started with a 16 unit in Venice, and then he eventually bought bigger and bigger properties in Los Angeles. And same thing with Gary Bush, right? Like, he was buying apartments in Santa Monica, and then he would later sell his portfolio, and that's how he purchased the Los Angeles Lakers,
Yep.
which is from his multi-family portfolio. So yeah.
Yeah, just, it's a different market.
Yeah.
It's apple and orange when you're comparing
Yeah.
for that. Each has like, it depends on what's your game plan. Is that like if you're looking for a cash flow, you are like, then maybe this market is not for that investor, right? But if you are sometimes at least I don't understand some like, they go buy somewhere for 4 units in some area where I think you buy just 1 unit in your backyard, you're gonna have same amount of appreciation and money versus like, unless you go big for that. At least that's my view on some of those stuff I see.
True. Next, sir.
I have another question. What year are you an account on your investing journey when you hired outside help, and has that employee increase your productivity in your business? What year are you an account on your investing journey when you hired outside help?
Time of the investing to when I hired the first
Yes.
one? Yeah. So, for some reason in my head, I was thinking I came from an operational background. So you know what? I can handle anything. And everything,
Right.
But you get to the point where you say, no, you cannot. You are not a Superman. You need a team.
Right.
You need the help and all those stuff. And that was once you get to 40 plus unit, you definitely need help. Otherwise, you'll be just fixing the your stuff all day long.
Right.
And you're gonna have no other
That becomes
time to even underwriting the deals.
Right. Because a full-time job.
Full-time job. And then hiring the staff and everything is a blessing and everything, but only if you find the right staff.
Right.
Yeah, especially when you are in Los Angeles, where it can be tough.
Tough
Yeah,
market.
yeah.
Right.
Here's like vendors to the staff and everything is a
Right.
it is like but in order to grow, you have to have help.
I have two questions I'm dying to ask. One question is as you know, Watts has been a historically rougher submarket here in Los Angeles, and I'm not sure if you guys have heard, but they are actually knocking down the Jordan projects, and they are gentrifying Watts right now. So are you thinking about looking into Watts anytime soon?
I am in a South LA, but if the numbers make sense, at the end of the day, the numbers make sense, right?
Okay.
If like let's put if we have a property in a Watts, the property I have close to the Watts, but not exactly in the Watts.
Yeah.
And then I'm finding the property in a South LA, or the property even in a South LA, close to 110 versus close to the SoFi Stadium. So different property, different. If the numbers make sense, there has to be some kind of a discount comes with that for those ones, because even that area is like, I know next to the those projects. You know, some streets you are driving over there, you don't even feel like you feel like you are in a different city, like in a covered city. Right?
Century and Alameda. They
Yeah,
got a new shopping center,
Wow.
gym, Nike store.
Nike store, yes.
Yeah,
Starbucks.
Starbucks,
You know,
a good gym,
Yeah.
Century and Alameda.
you know, I was
I was driving there around there recently, like, oh, shit. Oh, shucks, this is nice over here. Right? Buildings look like you say, Culver City or somewhere in the valley.
yeah.
The apartments that they building in the area and watch that they're tearing down parts of Jordan Down projects.
Yes, yeah. You know, there are opportunities over there, and if the numbers make sense, yes, I'm open to in that one as well. You know, there has to be like right now that's why just for the name of like, okay, it's in LA. We've seen sometime properties are in a South LA, close to the Santa Monica cap rate.
Wow.
Traded on close to Santa Monica cap rate. And sometimes we literally think, who bought this? Maybe some fund bought it because somebody sitting in a European money or what other different kind of money, just like, you know, came and somebody sold the LA and didn't even tell what part of LA. And they just paid for that one. And it was a trader, like, you know, very low cap in South LA. That was a year and a half or 2 years back when the interest rate was low. But trader under 4 cap. You know,
David, do you have any other questions?
No, I'll take a question from the audience.
Oh, I have a.
You have
Okay. I have one last question
You
that.
got someone online too, man. You gotta get a-
online at least.
I have one last question that I'm pretty sure that everybody here is gonna appreciate.
I had a few more questions too, but I want to give our audience an opportunity and a question from the person online.
Which is this, I really appreciate you, bringing your daughter to our meetup. I really appreciate that. Thank you, we do that, so that, I really appreciate you bringing your daughter to our meetup as
And
well.
that they are future.
So.
Those are our 2 daughters back there, Kai
Exactly.
and my daughter Kamora back there.
Exactly. The question to you is, you are a self-made, successful real estate investor and an entrepreneur. What is the one thing that you always tell your daughter about real estate investing that you hope that she learns from you?
I tell her I'm gonna give her 1,000 unit in LA.
Okay.
And she will make it 10,000. You know, she knows that stuff. Actually, she took a class, I say intro to business, and she was just saying, I already know all these. You know, which is good. Like for, you know, when you get to, there is always whatever you do. There is a. I don't know if it's a sacrifice the right word. But a lot of people in your surrounding, they support. You never self-made. Right? You never self-made. Like you have a partners who help you. You have your family who help you. Your kids. You're like, you know, somebody. There's a lot of people. Yeah, we just say in our big head that I made it and all that kind of stuff over here. Because you know, 7, 8 years old kid, 5 years old kid does not want to be spend the weekend driving property to property and all that kind of stuff over. For them, it's like, okay, you know, for doing that and all those. And then even, you know, we were like, when we were doing the lease in house, we were, another key was to finding a good tenant and everything. We were just kind of, I was no property management going to show the unit before 7 o'clock or after 5 o'clock. Because property management, first of all, is a thankless job. They like, for the over there, you know what, in California attitude that I'm gonna do only work as long as I'm not get fired.
Right.
The
exactly.
minimum amount
And
of
they pay
work.
me enough just not to quit.
Not to quit. I'm gonna show up. I'm not gonna just greet anybody. I'm not gonna just do that. If I answer the phone, I'm gonna have an attitude. That's what they just like majority of them. Like,
Right.
And here's you are a small mom and pop landlord for your tenants. I was showing them, I say, if somebody going to work like me, working, and hey, what time work for you? 7 in the morning? Okay, I'll show you. 7 o'clock at night time, I will show you.
Right.
And then we were just doing that part in order to find a good tenant.
Right.
In order to find a good tenant, which is, as you scale, I'm sure I cannot do anymore.
Right.
For that one, but those are the little things like you do, and everybody else just like it. You drag into that one. Why I started Meetup? Because I was driving my close family member crazy about real estate because I have nothing else to talk.
Right.
I don't talk real estate, right?
Right.
It's okay, I said, then I find another people who can listen my stuff.
All right, you done, Jay? We got a question
Yeah,
online. Let's get to the
Okay.
question online first, then we'll, for the person.
I'll just bring it on the screen for you.
All right, thank you.
Boom.
What, can you bring it, make it bigger?
Sure. I don't think I can change the size.
Talk about how does interest-only loans work in deals? Negative amortization with interest rates goes up, refinance risk for balloon payment due. That's a few questions in that I don't. Didn't make. Ken, talk about how does interest-only loans work in deals? Negative amortization when interest rate goes up, refinance risk for balloon payment due.
So depends on two kind of interest only loan. One is interest only loan is on a bridge debt. Other one is a regular one where you have a 5, 7, 10 years like for those ones. If you're in a bridge loan for 1 year, you're thinking that you're going to be able to have your property stabilized in 1 year. Los Angeles, that's a very risky. Doesn't matter, it's not risky now because of the interest rate is high. Even is risky at any given time, unless you have enough reserve on the back end.
Right.
Because there's one is too short of a time to stabilize a deal in Los Angeles with all the challenges.
Right.
For that one.
Especially with the professional tenants.
So now the interest only loan, how does it work? Yeah, if you are having a interest only for 3 to 5 years, actually it's good.
Right.
Because that gives you a little bit more extra cash in your hand in order to just put that back into the property. And then maybe you can just increase the NOI, actually going to work out, even interest rate is high. At that time, because of the NOI, another lender will be willing to refinance that property with that one. But it's a good question. This is what a lot of operators are in trouble on a bridge debt, or they would took only like 2 years or 3 years, now their loans are due, or even if they took it 3 years or 5 years, but they did not have enough reserve, or they did not just think about, okay, I need to have that kind of capital, CapEx did not increase the value of the property.
Right. They were mentioning the 3,200 units, Houston guy. The guy that lost the 32 units down in Houston, 3,200 units down in Houston. Yeah.
Actually, 2 more properties. Actually, it's 3,200 plus.
Right.
Two more properties.
The 3,200 plus Houston guy.
And that guy doubled the money.
Right.
For those investors because the market was healthy. And I think the challenge was another operator who picked up those properties, going to make money on those properties. Right? I was in a rough area, I was not in a nice area. Lack of operational experience, no ground presence over there. And there was a lot of issues was happening. Because operating in a C neighborhood is not for everybody.
Right.
It's just numbers can look good on a piece of paper all day long. You can just make up any kind of numbers on a piece of paper. Yeah, even just going to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, if on a class property, I can put that kind of money, even if I triple the money, how I can go wrong in a C? No, you will lose money because they're going to be, there's a word called,
What's
on
the
camera.
key?
There are some tenants from hell.
Right.
They will just like, do the things on, you will say, they're going to be expenses. I've seen some of the deals where there's a 70-80% expenses, for that.
So the expenses, yeah, I was thinking the expenses need to be lower in those neighborhoods, right? Is that how you make money?
Actually, your expenses is going to be
operation.
higher.
But I'm saying you want to keep them lower.
Yeah,
right?
that's where you're
I'm
going to
just
make
saying.
money, on that, because as you get into C and D neighborhood, your expenses is going to be higher because there's a different kind of challenges,
Lower rent. And
low rent can be a little bit low rent, the what's called the quality
of tenants.
tenants, it can be just if there may be more issues,
Delinquent.
for that one.
Yeah.
If somebody does not go to work, all day long, they will just keep breaking up the stuff for those one. And then you cannot be just there will be a lot of plumbing calls, a lot of unnecessary, drama and all those kind of stuff. And those are the things happen. And, you're at the end of the day, how you can increase the NOI, either you can increase the income or you can decrease the expenses, right? So both need to get done on those one. As in the A or B neighborhood, your quality of tenant is going to be better. So as long as you're maintaining the property good, your maintenance cost is going to be less. Sometimes you're surprised, it's as much as you consider, it depends on the tenants. Some tenants, for some reason, there's a 2 plumbing call every week. I don't know what they do.
Would you take Section 8 tenants over, regular paying tenants? Would that be more stable for the type of?
Income wise, your rent is kind of on the clock. On first, your rent going to be in your account. But same thing, like any other tenant, you have to screen.
What are your criteria for screening? Is it 3 times? What it treat them 3
If it
times
is a
the
Section
rent?
8, their income is from the Section 8. So you cannot just qualify it based on the income because their income is coming from the Section 8. But then you're looking for rental history, looking for if the person if it's a regular tenant, you want to make sure their minimum FICO, let's put, depends on the here, I rented in Redondo Beach, my minimum FICO was 700. And I got a tenant for 750, 740 FICO, right? For that one. And because you get a quality tenants, right? And in a other part, where is the FICO is 600 or 630, depends on which, whatever I do, for one property, I can just go with that one.
What's the minimum you would go for a tenant, the FICO?
600.
600.
And then based on, there's a lot of other on the credit report. You want to make sure that income, first of all, even if somebody has a FICO is good, if they do not have income, then you're going to be in trouble. Your income has to be minimum 2 times take home, not the gross. Depends on you can set up however you want. Some they say 2.5 times, 3 times the gross. But I say to take home. And also look for a repo. If they have a repo, repo companies, they do not come and take your vehicle. They give you enough warning, right? What kind of collection they have. If somebody has a student and medical debt, I'm okay with that, little bit. But any other kind of debt, if the person did not even pay the gas bill, that's a big red flag.
But you won't see that in the credit.
But yeah, you see all the
You
collections.
see that?
Yeah, collections you see.
Oh, okay.
And if it's an eviction, that's a big no. Right now they want to seal the eviction and everything because doesn't matter what kind of excuse they give you. Oh, I break up with my boyfriend, girlfriend, or I did not know that, and all those kind of stories they can give you. You want to take a chance, you can take it. But especially in Los Angeles, no landlord want to go through the eviction.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth
Expensive.
it. It's too expensive. It's not worth it. All those stuff. Nobody, even the slum landlord will not want to go to that eviction. If somebody has an eviction on the record, it's mean that tenant is just, all these. It means that tenant ignore all the landlord's requests and everything. For those ones. That's
Yeah, Sanjeev, I mean, I'd be interested in hearing about your experiences in the down market, just because in the up market, as you alluded to, anyone can make money, right? So I'm interested in, how you navigated 08 and in this current downturn, what's your strategy to actually capitalize when everyone's running for the exit?
Good question.
And also more generally, biggest mistakes that you've learned throughout your journey.
Mistake, first of all, is I invested in some of the deals where like these developments, projects, everything. I lost money in those ones. So not knowing enough because they say buy real, do not wait to buy real estate, buy real estate and wait. It's a 50% true, 50% is not true. You buy a land in the middle of nowhere and buy real estate, what good is that? Right. It's not going to increase any value over there. You rather just buy somewhere in a metro. And another thing is that when you're buying in a metro in an area, it doesn't matter expensive, it's always going to work out as long as you hold it. You can just go, properties are cheap. Properties are cheap in some area, there's a reason for that. And for prime location, somebody willing to pay. The people who are coming and paying in LA, it's not like, okay, they are a pension fund, they don't know what they're doing and everything. They know that somebody else is willing to pay for that land or that property. So those are the stuff I learned because I sometimes I just went, oh, yeah, it's cheap over there. But cheap is the reason for property at the end, I'm going to sell for cheap as well. Unless you already know in that area, already operating and everything. Another, again, buy where this is a value add. There is no, you are not waiting for anything. Somebody, doesn't matter where the market goes, somebody still need a place to live. So if you are buying it in an area where there is a diverse economy, somebody always going to live over here. That's at least unless something, big disaster or earthquake or some other stuff happen, that'd be a different story for that. And other lessons, I will say, some of those properties I wouldn't. Now I seen some of the properties I was looking an example, looking the property with the broker. I say I stuck on one number, broker stuck on one number. I didn't want to go high, there was maybe 50,000 or 100,000. Okay, this is the maximum I can go. Then 1 year later, those properties sold for $1 million more. I was literally here. I was just saying that I'm now going to pay more $50,000 more. This is my maximum I will pay. And now at that point, even if you pay, but that's again, I don't see it as a mistake, but as telling at least I stick with my underwriting criteria. So those one, you have to be conservative, for those, because otherwise you can make a lot of money, but you can lose a lot of money as well. For this one. And right now, every time there is a market changes happen in the market, the same time, there is an opportunity come, but then nobody lends you the money. Bank becomes so conservative, they don't lend you. So what are you going to do? Unless you're sitting on a lot of you have a connection where you have the good reserve, but where the good reserve going to come if you're active in the market. If the deal is going to come in LA, they're going to bring to the deals to the operator who's active in the market, right? For those ones. So it's comes with the both. Right now, I see some opportunity, but there is a capital also. The banks are not giving up the money easily. You have to put a 50-60% down. Yeah, the values. I know that in 5 years, 7 years, the property is going to be great. But if you have that kind of a depth, you can put it over there, and then you're going to come out as a winner. Because right now, a lot of people are sitting on there is even funds are created. Right now, they're just waiting for these opportunities. They're going to go and then they're going to just take all those distressed properties. Yeah. They're waiting for those ones because they're going to make money because they know there is opportunities around the corner for that one. But I'm not on that level yet.
So cash is still these companies have a lot of cash. They can just buy up 500 properties. These funds or whatever you're saying,
Blackwater.
BlackRock or whoever.
they have like, these are the like, funds, one of the, even if the one fund is not doing good, or they are like, the balloon is coming, they cannot exit, and another fund comes, but that fund has like, they can hold for another 10 years. And these will come cash out this one and take over these properties for them, because they know that these properties they're getting on a discount right now, because if this property they get on
They'll just, go up in value after.
because they have, it's again going back to, they have a patience money. And they're okay with the no cash flow, no nothing, like for another 5-7 years, and they believe in this. Same thing. Like, I mean, say Los Angeles is dying, people are moving, and all those kind of stuff you hear, from those gurus, because they want you to just invest with them, not here. But like near LAX is an example, near South LA. LAX is right now $14 billion, start with a B, $14 billion project over there. SoFi Stadium, $5 billion. Crenshaw Expo, $2 billion. And I can tell you, some of those cities in the Midwest, their whole city doesn't have that kind of budget or stuff. And you're talking about a little part over there. And these companies are investing the monies and all those kind of, they know that where they're investing.
So is that the best area now in LA near SoFi?
Not necessarily, like you can invest.
Or South LA? Or...
You can invest anywhere.
As long as the numbers make sense.
Makes sense. And as long as you also become expert wherever you are, like the rules and regulation as well. With all the positive and everything, LA County has 70 cities. And there are more rules and regulation than any other county or state. Only, I believe, in a county in the world, or in the city in the world, people are still dealing with the COVID. You call that some of the government employee or the bureaucrats, oh, I was off 2 weeks. Oh, I had a COVID.
Right.
Wow, we are the only.
They're still paying them. They're still paying them for
Betsy, you got a question?
residual COVID
I think
symptoms, whatever.
the answer probably varies
How
from
much?
investor to investor, but I'm curious to know what makes a good deal for you? What is your buy box? What are the KPIs that you look at to define if you will move forward or not with a deal?
I can, good question. People just like what I want to pay for the property, sometimes the broker say, oh, Sanjeev, that's it. You're looking for a deal of the century. Okay, I heard, okay, no worries. Oh, but if you're a regular investor, you will never find that. A regular investor always buy on the market price, close to market. I say, I don't have the fund, and I don't have the pension fund backing up on that, for that one. I need to buy what makes sense for me, right? For that one. Yeah, I heard what you have to say for that one. So every time I buy the property, at least I try for that one. If I had to offload that property after closing, even if I pay for the closing on a buy, closing on an end, I will not lose money on that. So let's put 3-4%. You're buying on a closing 3-4% at like if I have to sell right away. That's what I don't like the deal. At least on that, when I'm buying, at least I'm having enough margin over there. But I'm at least paying good 10 to 20% less than the anybody else paying. And I take it as like if some people can say, oh, like I take it as with the pride. I said, I'm good at what I do. This is my strength. I buy the good property. And I say with the confidence, like I take it to any broker, Marcus, Millie, chat to anybody. This is what I paid. And this is like, for that. Oh, Sanjeev, what's wrong with the property? Nothing wrong with the property. I know you would sell for 20% more. Maybe I will hire you one day when I would want to sell for that one. So that's the number one thing. Like at least based on that month, that year of that, I'm buying a good property. At least I feel good. I'm not just paying any Mo and Joe who's paying for the same deal for that one. Now is a value add, at least minimum 30% rental upside. Realistic, not what the broker saying that. Broker might say like, okay, 50% and like it can be 30 to 100% rental upside. So I know I'm going to add more value, even if the market just goes down. So like, for example, I picked up the property where one bedrooms are paying 800. And I know the market is like, right now, even in that part of the town is 2100. I underwrote on that one. In 5 years, I will get maximum $1,500 to $1,600 rent. So your underwriting is super conservative. So that way, okay, if there is a major job lost or any other things are happening, layoffs are start happening, I'm still in a good shape. If some tenants stop paying the rent, all those kind of stuff, like, is a stress underwriting for those ones. And depth wise as well, it's kind of like, you want to have a cake, you want to eat as well. That kind of mentality goes with that one. So spend a lot of time on those ones. So where you rather have, as I said, number of doors, okay, or all those kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what's your cash flow? What's your cash flow? Where your properties are? What are those properties worth are? That's what I think is more important.
And what are you targeting for returns and minimum cash flow?
Even in LA market is very hard to do a cash flow. Some of those, if like in a proper, on a conservative end, like between 11 to 13 IRR. I know I'm going to be north of that, but that's one I can just deliver on those ones. And cash on cash is can be anywhere from 3% to 5-6%, which is very hard to deliver in LA. With when you are paying when you're getting a maximum loan to value. Maximum loan to value, which is easier to say than to done. I think some of those stuffs are you have to just run the operation very tight. Those are the stuff. Just make sure that you have some cash as well.
We have a question online.
What's the best way for a property manager to find the right investor in a motel property is the first question. Second question, if the management team wanted a silent investor, could that be accomplished after they figure out how to construct present deal?
I do not own any motel. I haven't changed any motel to multifamily, which is happening a lot in LA. I have not done any what's called
Conversions.
Like office buildings are changing, for those ones. So find the right investor in a motel property. So the question is that they want to keep it as a motel or they want to change motel to multifamily? Could that be accomplished after they figured out how to construct? Yeah, it's on a back end,
Right.
find
the right investor.
If it's a silent investor, it has to be some kind of a family member or someone, right? For those one, or there's maybe somebody else going to get on the loan, and then there are so many ways. Like deal wise, whoever asking the question,
Right.
there are so many ways you can construct the deal. It's totally up to the operator. There can be a JV deal. There can be a, this is so many ways to skin the cat.
Right. Questions?
Well,
Thank you, Jen. Sanjeev. Appreciate
thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All of our volunteers. Thank our volunteers.
Yeah, thank you again.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Should we give a book first?
Oh, you want to give out the book present now?
Yes,
Thank you.
So you guys, we're not done yet.
You have a question for that? Oh, you got a book. You got a book. First book. Hands off investors.
Let me ask you guys, who heard about about the operator in Houston, who got postponed on the 3,200 unit.
Everybody heard about that.
Right on everyone.
Yeah. How would you like to be an investor on that deal? No.
No one would. No
No.
one would.
So like, it's very important for you guys to know what you are doing before you become a passive investor in the deal. Who here wants to be a passive investor, or at least has thought about being a passive investor, but like, they don't know how to vet the person that they are investing with? I'm pretty sure that everybody here has had that thought before.
Right.
So, that's why we're giving out this book. Who is serious about being a passive investor? But I had some doubts. Okay,
Right here.
let's give it to her.
I'm the one.
Rochelle? There you go. Thank you.
And then,
Okay.
You're giving that away?
Yeah, you
You
can't
didn't
say that
tell
away.
me say that. Oh, wow.
all of you guys, we want to give a big thank you to all of our volunteers. Can we please have our volunteers,
I don't know how many
go
still
over
here.
to the front, please?
Few people left already, yeah.
Nanette,
Fill up. I think I see.
Grace,
Grace,
Franklin,
yep, Grace.
Philip.
Right now.
Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Spotlight on y'all right now. We appreciate y'all help.
Turn the camera back on.
So, you guys, if it was not be possible without our volunteers, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you for all your hard work. Okay. Now, like, can you please take a group picture to the front, please?
Yep, get everybody come up to the front, gather
You
around.
guys,
Real estate investor family.
Everybody? You mean?
Everyone, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone.
My stuff here.
Okay.
Short people in the front. Yeah. People to the front. Max, you take a picture of all of us. See my phone, like, good technology around here. All right, everyone, gather up, come together. Ryan and KC, come on, gentlemen, y'all come up. Ryan and KC, come on. Come on, people in the front. Yeah, I got it. I get my card, let me take off.
Sweet. All right, we're gonna do a normal one and then I'm gonna do a selfie one. I want to be in both.
Right on, as you should. Max provide the building to us. Thank you, Max.
Woo, anytime, it's all part of the job. All right. Chicken. All right.
Selfie time.
There it is.
Thank you, Max.
Of course, anytime.
Yes, nice to meet you. Pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Another investors that, and I'm so a few things. I used to do corporate litigation.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, so people. Everybody say bye.
Sometimes feels like it's dirty.
Good job. I'm telling you, Mike, I was like,